What's going on, race fans? Jason Turner back again in the house with Mr. Kyle Painter. What's up, Kyle?
What's up?
How's it going, man? You doing all right?
Oh yeah, hanging in there.
Always good to see you back in the studio, man. We got a great show today. Got a really cool guest in the house again. He's given his secret away as to the success that he's had here recently here on Cars Tour Night. We've got Mr. JR Goode in the house. JR, how's it going, man?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, back on. I think the key to success is definitely the handlebar mustache, something that I'm not capable of producing.
Yeah, I can do like the goatee and the mustache, but I can't get the interconnected
connection going.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
See, that's
so
something
he's
else.
got all the speed over here. We can't touch him.
So again, here we are back in the Accelerated Graphics Studios. Back with Kyle. We got JR in the house. JR coming off of a win. Cars Tour Night, May the 7th. JR picked up his first win. JR, how's that feel, man?
It's good, man. It's good. It feels good to get the monkey off your back. You know, you always want to go to the racetrack to win, but this year I knew I had the equipment to do it, so I just had to make it happen.
Yeah,
I think to finally do it.
I think seeing him on Facebook, man, he didn't take that feature winner hat off for like a good week.
Nah, I'm still wearing it every day.
You ready to sleep? Take a shower in it?
Yeah, I take it off the shower. That's about it.
There you go. So we got this other trophy over here, man. We're taunting you a little bit. We got that for you. You think you can grab that up next week?
That's the plan. Open to it. Let's get it.
Get you another hat. That way you can you know wash the first one.
Yeah, I think I'll wear my first one, and then we'll just post the other one up for the show.
So this part of the show is brought to you by Big B Coffee. Big B Coffee on University Drive here in Burlington. Stop by for a Red Bull cream freeze. Stop by for a cold brew, a hot brew, anything. Have you tried their cream freeze yet?
I have not. They had like a juice, some type of juice or something like that. Maybe a smoothie or something that I tried.
Yeah.
The smoothies, yeah.
The smoothies are good. They've even brought those macaroons.
I haven't had them yet. I need to try
Kept
those.
things in the refrigerator. They were pretty good, man. So man, we had a really good kids night. Everybody at kids night, they really enjoyed the bounce house, the 64-foot inflatable obstacle course. Me and Kyle were gonna race, but man,
We couldn't even get a spot in line.
Couldn't get a spot in line. The kids were going absolutely nuts over this thing. I mean, it was kids literally, 3 years old wanting to jump around. Jackson, he was having fun. I did get to take him through, but he beat me coming down the slide. So I got juiced by my own 3-year-old, man. That's something else.
So I think Rumley challenged Randy to a race in Victory Lane. So next time we got the bouncy house, we've got two races set up. Winner take all.
We're going to do that. Back to school night, mark your calendars. We're going to get Dustin Rumley and our announcer, Randy Pettit, down that thing. That is going to be awesome.
Seeing Randy running would be worth price of admission.
he'll fly through that thing like Superman, man. Speaking of Superman, dude, Blake Stallings coming back to run some Twins night action with us. That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
Yeah. So we'll go down and give a rundown from the last week. We got Dustin Rumley in the late models with a pair of wins. Did so in pretty good fashion. Had a good commanding lead in both races and just made short work of it.
And Trevor finished second in both of them, and he said he's just looking for some long run speed. Like he definitely has the first couple laps figured out in qualifying, but he's looking for some long run speed, so he'll probably try to find some of that over the break.
I think he'll get some of that. He's pretty good at finding stuff when he needs it the most. Dean Fogelman and Blake Stallings splitting the pair with a third and a fourth place finish. That first race, man,
that was crazy.
I knew Dean would catch him, and Dean was actually putting a hurting on him. He was catching him about a car a lap for the last good 5 laps, and man, he just got to 3 and 4, and there it was. And that's just what happens when 2 cars compete for the same real estate. That was just definitely a solid racing mishap.
Yeah, and he got to him. He didn't have any time to really work him. So
yeah,
you do what you got to do.
If there's a hole, you got to fill it, man. So that's what they did. So and then after that, R.D. Smith, he is 5th in the points, but did not make that race. Shout out to Kobe Fogelman for giving a good effort.
Yeah, that was really cool of him to come out.
Showed up, give it a shot to see what he's got in the late models. That's a pretty big deal. Mini stocks was still didn't fail to impress. Michael Tucker's still putting hurting on these guys, man. These guys have to find a way to top Michael Tucker. I know that dude is sharp everywhere he goes. He goes to Dillon, he comes to Ace. He's always quick. It doesn't really matter what car he's in. He puts a hurting on him. Chuck Wall, he's still trying to find a way to he's missing just a little something.
He's all over it, but he's just not quite got it done yet.
Yeah, and with Ace being such a handling track, definitely you got to be so consistent that you have got to hit. You got to nail it every lap. Isaac Chandler, man, we got to get this kid on the show. Isaac's going to be a good show. Finished up third. Those guys have been working really hard. Partnered with the Maverick Radio NC team. Man, they just he thinks they've got something for these guys. They got something to figure out, and they will be all over it. That's going to be a good deal. You've got Miles Tucker and Mike Herron finishing out the top 5 modifieds at Ace Speedway. Todd Massey coming back.
That's not, what, 3 in a row?
That is, 3 in a row when he shows up.
Oh, okay.
So when he shows up, he is 100%.
That's right, yeah.
He is 100% going to win when he shows up. So for anybody who doesn't know, Todd Massey has a very, very decorated late model stock career, moving to the modifieds as not only him and Brad Allen, Jason York, and Gary Causey have done. All these guys have raced late model stocks seriously and competitively for a long span of time, and then moved to the modified class. These guys, they just can't give up the sport. They love it to death, and find a way to still compete. The modified division at Ace Speedway is a good division for these guys. So you got Todd Massey winning the race, Gary Causey leading the points, finishing second. Roy Cook still finishing third again, so he has a great shot at Gary Causey for this title this year. He's only 6 points back. Randy Butner and then Nathan Garrett are going to be a daddy here soon, finishing out the top 5, and that's a big thing right there. I remember when I was going to be a daddy, that was whew. You're on pins and needles, man. Pins and needles. Keith Bram Jr. still winning again here in the extreme class. Little bro Bryson Myers coming up a little bit short.
With the world's quickest interview.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not having it today.
We got to work on that, man.
Yeah, we got to get him some interview training or whatever.
Hey, we'll school him up. We'll send him to like Randy Pettit School or something like that.
There you go.
We'll get it going. Brian Hatch in third and Jonathan Lawrence in fourth. But that's your rundown from the Ace Speedway recap. Back to J.R. Goode, getting his first win in front of a Cars Tour night crowd. Pretty big deal, man. What do you attribute to the change in pace of your team? What do you think is most critical?
I would say confidence. I was able to get that first podium finish this year, and that played a big part. But our lap times in practice and stuff have been where they need to be, and we finally just got the car freed up. I mean, it's been a little bit tight last couple of races, so we finally adjusted, freed it up a little bit, and it just made the difference, man. Everything fell into place on my end as far as the way the race played out. We were able to get a big gap from the beginning because the guys behind us were battling, so we were just able to maintain that gap after that. Like you were saying with the mini stocks, just finding that edge is, you got to hit that line 50 times, you know what I mean? Just perfect, because you barely bobble unlimited, man. It makes the difference in 2 and 3 tenths now. It's insane.
Your background, other than just circle track and asphalt racing, I see you dabble a lot in go-karts on Facebook, but what else have you done in the past as far as motorsports?
So growing up, I've always been around circle track racing. I love circle track racing, and I wanted to race go-karts. It never happened, but we started racing motocross. And I started doing that when I was 11 or 12, and we were heavy into that until I turned probably 22, 23 years old. And then after a little bit of a gap, quitting the motocross thing, I just worked my way back to circle tracks, and a couple of buddies had go-karts and stuff, so that's where it started, was on the go-karts. My uncle Mike Bledsoe, which is the car owner now, he let me drive one of their go-karts at Ace Speedway, a couple races, and after that I was hooked on circle track stuff.
Man, so you never know where the next talent is coming from. The next winners at Ace Speedway, you never know where they're coming from. And the fans, for you watching, if you guys think we should bring back a go-kart track, let us know in the comments below. So you talk about growing up around the sport. You talk about what is your favorite memory of either coming to Ace Speedway or racing in general? Like what made it to where you knew you wanted to compete at Ace?
I'd say the time spent at the shops. So Dad raced dirt when they had the sportsman division. He raced at Ace Speedway in 311. So once I was born, he quit racing and he started helping guys. He helped like Ricky Billings, Dick Shirley, then Keith Woody, and then Mike and stuff like that. So most of my time spent with Dad was at a race shop. Me and my brother would go up to a race shop and we'd play, and we'd get in trouble the whole time because we were playing with stuff in the shop that we shouldn't play with. But yeah, time at the track, and then every Friday night we knew we were going to be at Ace Speedway. Ace Speedway raced every Friday night. My mom and Dad would go early because they'd go in the pits, and my papa would take me and my brother to actually watch races at Ace every Friday night. And yeah, that's pretty much where I grew up.
Where did you guys play at the most around the racetrack?
Definitely under the bleachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you grow up and what we always used to do is we would either save lunch money throughout the week.
Yeah.
All of our crew, our Friday night road dogs, we would literally save lunch money. We would save whatever we could save, and then you go to the backstretch concession stand, and at the time, like a large pizza from Domino's was like $5.
Oh yeah.
So you save up $5, you and your buddies, and everybody gets a slice or two. And then when you're done,
you ride it down
that thing's a sled.
That's right.
So the box, you're sliding down the box going and just straight up, no fear, just YOLO. And I drive around the racetrack now, and literally every time I go around the backside of 3 and 4, I'm like, I can't believe we used to do that.
That's a big deal.
That's huge. Even now, I was like, man, I can't believe we used to do that. And before they made the track longer, a buddy of mine, even to this day, and myself, we would actually go down the backside behind turn 2 toward the wood line, back when it was still kind of closer to the racetrack before they cleared all that out. And there was I don't think it was a creek as much as it was just landscaping kind of going down.
Yeah.
And it would always be really, really wet right there, or like puddles of water, or miniature pond or whatever, just something that couldn't drain out, had to dry out. But always right around this time of year there'd be frogs everywhere. And so we'd go back there and catch frogs and stick them in your pocket and walk around with them, and it's like me and my buddy over here. So I remember so much about doing that as a kid. And even now I see kids running around the racetrack, and I'm like, they're keeping it going.
And everybody knew everybody there. I knew all the drivers in every class. You know them by name and car number. You don't know them personally, but that's Todd Massey and the Purple Lake Model, or whatever it is. It's pretty cool.
Everybody always saw me running around with like a bologna burger hanging out of my mouth. So like when I'd be 8, 9, 10 years old running around, and I'm always eating a ham sandwich or eating something at the racetrack, and I was just like, wow, you people say like, I don't see you ever without eating something, and I'm like,
right,
yeah, maybe I should put it down. It's old habits die hard. So
yeah.
What are your plans for the rest of the season? How do you think you're gonna continue to improve and continue to go forward in your racing career? What's next for JR Goode?
As far as plans for the rest of the season is just remain consistent and stay out of trouble. Keep the car in one piece. That's a big deal with running for a championship. With cost and being, like you said in the podcast before, being able to get parts and stuff like that. That plays a big part in keeping the car clean, but also you've got to run on the edge to be competitive and to win. So obviously the goal is to get more wins, but also keeping the car clean as well. And after this year, I'm not real sure. I just guess we'll see how the end of the year plays out.
Yeah, you'll definitely be able to keep that. You'll know if all the race fans at home, you'll know if JR's keeping that car clean or not, because it is. It is snow white. It's clean. It's got brand new looking decals on it.
Yes.
It's on the rail. It's ready to go. It's coming back to Ace Speedway coming up June 11th. You gonna make it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll be there.
Awesome. So JR Goode will be in the house June 11th with his handlebar mustache. Trying to still see if he can get the mullet going. I don't know if the wife is going to let that happen or not.
I don't grow hair very well anymore.
Hey, it happens to the best of us. To go back to like being conservative or driving different because you're running for a title. I had talked to Bobby McCarty when he was running on his second, when he was going for 2 in a row in the Cars Tour Series, and he was like, it's just totally different. Like he was basically saying he could go for more wins and stuff like that. Coming down to the late stages of a race, are there certain, without naming any names obviously, because we don't want to stir nothing up, are there certain people you're like, you know what, I'll just take, my second or third here as opposed to race that guy, or are there situations like that?
Yeah, for sure. For me, it's you know the guys in front of you, especially after you drove behind them a few laps. You kind of know if their car's going away, they're kind of all over the place. But I know if I don't have the car to make it happen, if they're not holding me up, then we'll do what we can. But I'm not going to force the issue. If they're holding me up and I know I'm losing time, then yeah, we gotta set this up to make a pass. But to make a pass at Ace Speedway, it's going to take you a couple laps to do it right. Without just straight up moving a guy.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, as far as if we got somebody who's coming down for the win or whatever last lap, if I'm not on their bumper, I'm not gonna dive bomb or anything like that, for the win, because we got to come back and race the next race, and that guy's gonna remember how you drove him that race, and that's just gonna create a bunch of problems for yourself as far as running for a championship. If it was just one race, we were traveling around, just trying to make some money, yeah, you see more of that aggression, I guess you'd say. But yeah, you drive guys clean, man, it goes a long ways. They remember that, because we all have nights we're on and nights we're off. I've seen that last race. I think you heard Dalton in his interview, and Harville as well. They just made the adjustments the wrong way. We're all trying to search for more speed because we're all so close, and we make those adjustments. Sometimes we can go the wrong way, which is what we did the first race or two. Just trying to find more speed in the car. So yeah, man, it just goes a long ways as far as just keeping it calm and driving clean, and knowing whether or not your car can pass somebody or not. If it can't pass them, there's no point in forcing the issue.
Right.
And that's just my perspective of it.
And do you think guys ever take advantage of that too? And they're like, oh, he's running for points. If I drive a little rough, they'll probably let me go. Yeah.
I mean, if I'm holding somebody up by any means, I've gotten my back bumper beat off quite a bit, so I know that. And my spotters are good about my dad. Usually spots for me. My Uncle Keith Woody spots for me, and they're like, hey, let them go. Like if we've got something for them, we'll catch them back. But if you're holding them up, it's either you're going to get put in the wall or you can let them go. So I like the second option better.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to,
To save your day. I mean,
yeah,
let them go.
But I've been in so many situations where I've been faster than somebody through the center.
Yeah.
And because of the passive aggressive, you don't want to wreck somebody, but you got to stay right there on them.
You do.
You can actually burn your stuff up also.
Yeah.
So you can actually take a really good car or a race winning car and make it a third or fourth place car quick if you don't do something with it. So there are times where you have to force the issue if you're better.
That's right.
Because especially just like at Ace Speedway, anybody knows, if you're better center off than somebody else and you're not showing it or you're not using it, then you're wasting. You're wasting it. You might as well, you literally might as well load it up and put it in a trailer if that's how you drive it. So there are issues where you got to push, you got to push the man in front of you. You got to force the issue a little bit.
Yeah.
Let them know you're there. Hey, the first time bump, hey, I'm here. Second time bump, I'm faster than you. Third time bump, I'm coming through.
Yeah.
So there are issues where you have to do that, but
especially when you're sitting in third, because this leader, I cannot Harville. I mean, throughout the year, you've seen. If he gets that gap, he can maintain that gap. He's going to hit his marks. He's going to hit his line. So it's like I cannot let him get this gap
away.
No, and that's what we were able to do. My last race is we finally got a gap and got the ride, and I like that side a little bit better.
Let them do it. You just take off.
Y'all battle. Y'all keep battling out there.
There you go. Well. Speaking of fireworks, man, there was some fireworks in the late model race, fireworks in the modified race, fireworks in the mini stock race. We've got fireworks race fans coming up on Flag Day, June 11th. Flag Day 215 presented by Alco Vets. Big deal. We've got RNS race cars coming on board as well. for a $7,500 to win late model stock 75 lap feature. This is a 4-tire event. If anybody isn't up to current on what's going on with tires, Hoosier Racing Tire has faced a supply shortage in the supply chain of the F45 compound Hoosier Racing Tire that our limiteds, late models, and modifieds compete on. So in order to conserve the supply, each track gets a designated amount, an equal amount per race night. So, basically we've been able to have, between our allotment from last race and the next race, we've got enough tires for limiteds to have theirs. Modifieds, no, they didn't get one this time, so modifieds will get their tire. And then we've got enough tires between everything else to have up to 15 late model stocks for this event, 11 of which have already entered for this race. On that race, we've got Neil racing. I think Kevin Neal's going to race that. I'm not exactly sure if him or his son is going to race that. We've got Dustin Rumley, Dean Fogelman, Trevor Ward, Dylan Ward, Blake Stallings, Ryan Millington, Justin Johnson, Trey Dillard, Tommy Neal, and we are waiting on a couple more to enter. They got to see how it goes coming up with the next Cars Tour race before this event. So kind of the situation that everybody's in is, if you're not going to race Cars Tour, you get to kind of pick and choose where you want to go after that in between races, or if you're racing for like Tour and 12, you have to be there to race. So you're kind of limited on what you can and can't do. Most of the people that we're talking to right now about this event, they're kind of waiting to see how they get through this race before they commit. So we've been on the phone with like Deke McCaskill, Scott Riggs, 4 Lane Riggs, but talking to Scott and a couple others. We've been talking with Greg Marlowe and a few others there's a lot of interest out there, of course, obviously, with this kind of a deal put together. So a lot of these guys are, they want to be there so bad, but if they've only got one car, or
and it's kind of hard to nail it down to the parts situation.
Yeah.
We can't even get, some places can't even get tires. So if it's not a clean race, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it puts you in a bad situation. So we've got more cars interested to fill out the remaining spots. However, until that time, these guys cannot fully 100% commit. So it kind of puts us in a pickle there. But definitely going to have a good field for this. So we're going to have fireworks again on the track and off the track. After dark, we'll cut off for a little bit in between some of the races. We're going to have a big fireworks show presented by Alcovets. These guys, if you can, find them on Facebook, like their page. These guys are on a mission to help veterans, not only in Alamance County, but around the state of North Carolina. These guys mean business. These guys do a lot of good in the community, and they want to raise awareness for veterans who commit suicide due to PTSD and the struggles that they go through. Very, very, very big thing that these guys are doing. They're really noble in what their mission is, and they've got some stuff that we've talked about in previous meetings with them in the last couple of weeks that they're working on that I had no idea they were trying to do, and it's amazing.
That's very cool. Some
of the stuff that these guys are coming out with. So definitely pay attention to the Alcovets. You can find them on Facebook, like their page. If you can, try to find a way to work with them, help them out, donate, whatever you can. They do gun raffles, I think 2 or 3 a year. Pretty cool stuff. You buy a $20 ticket and you got a chance to win a pretty cool gun. I think it's just all rifles.
Yeah.
But I've bought several of those, hoping that I could get me like an AR or something like that. They have some pretty sweet top prizes. Limited late models coming back for a 50 lap feature. Another big thing, mini stocks. I told you guys here, you heard it first and you're going to hear it again. Mini stocks, $700 to win, top prize, still just 30 lap race. Mini stocks have been great at Ace Speedway for years. We call Ace Speedway the mini stock capital of the world. These guys got their shot to come and run for some top money, and this is not going to be the last time, folks, that this happens for the mini stock division. So you come to Ace Speedway, when you buy your ticket, you know that you already know there's going to be fireworks on the racetrack. Yeah. But we got them off the racetrack as well. So with these top prizes, these guys are going to be going after it for 30 solid laps. Hopefully, we can do some all green flag lap racing, man.
That'd be cool.
Have a straight, green to checkered.
That'd be cool.
And see who's really got it. And then we've got our ace mods coming back too. We're gonna see if Todd Massey comes back again. See if he can make it 4 for 4 in his 4 starts.
I'm pretty sure he'll come back.
Pretty confident.
he was waving the flag pretty hard for Ford, so I think he's kind of all in. I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but I think he'll come back.
I've been speaking to a couple people who they've bought modifieds. So the modified class is still growing, and one other driver, I don't want to mention his name yet, he's considering buying a modified, and for his son, who races dirt. So these guys are considering the Ace Speedway modified class because they know it can save money. It's not super expensive to run the Ace Speedway modifieds. I mean, you can make anything as expensive as you want it to be, but based on our rules and based on tire consumption and things of that nature and the number of laps that these guys run, it's not an insanely expensive Division II race, and you still get a decent top prize.
Yeah.
And the Ace Speedway Extremes, we've got another driver that's planning to come out. I've been waiting on him. He's got his car together, and it'll be cool to see when it comes out. I'm hoping he gets it out for this race, but if not, we still got a pretty tight-knit group of cars. These guys are going to put on a great show. For sure. Definitely a good show. But, again, gates open at 6, races start at 8, adult ticket prices are $15, kids 6 to 12 are still just $5. That hasn't changed. And I don't think it's changed. It hasn't changed since 2017. Kids, still just $5. That's big. So bring out your family. You can come. You get more entertainment than a movie, and for the same, if not cheaper.
Yeah.
You're not paying $9 for a big thing of popcorn. You're not buying a $10 soda. You can feed your whole family for what it costs for just one soda and one popcorn at a movie. But
mostly come for the fireworks.
Yeah, definitely come for the fireworks. This is going to be great, but I think we're going to have more fireworks on the track than off the track, especially with these top prizes. So I'm really excited to see who comes out in the mini stock division. I've already spoken with about 6 drivers that are coming that they haven't made it to all the events, but they've made it to some. And then I think, if everything comes out right, I think we're going to have 24 plus cars.
That'd be cool.
So that'll be nuts.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That'll be good. So definitely, again, guys, this is also the 5th race in the dual short track showdown between Ace Speedway and Tri-County. So far right now, Brandon Rogers and Blake Stallings have made a huge commitment to or not necessarily Braden as much as Blake Stallings, but definitely trying to win that deal.
Right.
Blake's been to Ace and competed in both twin races for the last event, and then this one as well. He's listed for the 7,500 to win race, so I think that's going to be something big to look at when you compare the points. Ace Speedway is going to post those points here this week. We were waiting on one finish from Tri-County in order to post those and get everything together, but we really appreciate all you guys coming out. We've got JR Goode in the house. JR, appreciate you coming out, buddy.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And everybody who listens to the Ace Speedway Recap, you can also listen to us on any of the podcast apps out there. You've got Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Radio Public, or wherever you download your podcasts. Just search Ace Speedway Recap, like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us out as we continue to grow this. Kyle, we looked at some numbers, man. One of the last Facebook videos we did had over 5,000 reaches just after last week. So definitely a big thing that we're able to do.
We're going to try to keep that momentum going.
We're going to definitely keep bringing it to you live here, race fans. And for now, I'm Jason Turner, along with Kyle Painter, executive producer, and JR Goode, our guest. We will see you at the races.